members of the cabal are working with politicians in the region to ensure the area does not know peace before the 2023 elections. IPOB has alleged that members of the cabals, who are the members of the cabals, Asuro cabals, they have made sure, or they are working with politicians in the region so that there will not be election in the southeast. The indigenous people of Biafra IPOB has accused the former chief of army staff, Major General Abdurrahman Dambaza, retired, of planning to rig the 2023 general elections, but blackmailing IPOB to cover up. IPOB, in a statement issued by its media and publicity secretary, Emma Powerful, on Monday said Dambaza's recent comment that the secessionist group is a threat to 2023 elections in the southeast region is a clear indication that the Fulani Cabal is behind the insecurity in the region in an effort to rig the 2023 elections and blame it on the group. The secessionist group said these cabals are sponsoring Fulani terrorist inflows into Igbo land that are killing and sacking communities so that there will be no voting due to desertion of communities in Igbo land. These cabals are also behind infiltrators who are shouting no election in Biafra land. It is a premeditated plan to blame IPOB for voter apathy in Igbo land. They are also responsible for staging and parading criminals who claim to be working for IPOB. It is all part of the planned agenda to rig elections while blaming IPOB. IPOB alleged that the members of the cabal are working with politicians in the region to ensure the area does not know peace before the 2023 elections. With their well-planned media attacks and blackmail against IPOB, it is obvious that they see IPOB as the only obstacle to their evil agenda for all the indigenous nations trapped in the contraption called Nigeria. Even though we have consistently said that IPOB is not interested in Nigeria policies, the Fulani handlers of international terrorism and their leaders daily link IPOB into their plot to select Nigeria's leader, and in the shambolic 2023 election that they call election, they are just preparing ignorant people's mind to blame IPOB for their failure in an already rigged election, it said. Unfortunately, this is Nigeria, where many of the state executives are terrorist commanders. Even arrested terrorists are released and given VIP treatment, while unarmed freedom fighters are killed or detained indefinitely in dungeons that Nigeria calls detention facilities. We have maintained that IPOB has no plans to tell our people to boycott elections. We have chosen to remain neutral in the forthcoming 2023 fraudulent election. Anyone obstructing the election process is definitely working with the Fulani agendas and not IPOB. Our focus now is to dislodge the Fulani imported terrorists and locally recruited criminals who are demonizing IPOB before the international community. Just watch as events unfold. IPOB said it has nothing to do with what it described as Nigeria's fraudulent election, saying that its focus is on the release of its leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and getting a Biafra referendum date. Biafra agitation championed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB worldwide is recognized and considered peaceful, contrary to the blackmail by the Fulani government in Nigeria. We shall remain peaceful but resolute freedom fighters until freedom is actually achieved. Okay, and wow, this is what we have been hearing over the time. We have been hearing this over the time. We are not this, we are not that. I just believe that some of the statements made by IPOB from the beginning, maybe they were just using it as a threat, or they were thinking about, okay, going with all of these things, but all of a sudden the whole thing was taken over by them, and they are not being used against them. That is where I see it. Like I've always said, when you really have terrorist groups, don't say they are not joking. They're not they play. They are always happy to brag that yes, they struck anything and they get away with it, and they will boast about it. Terrorists are not cowards. When you really look at it, the real terrorists are not cowards. That they will do something and they will not say they didn't do it. It doesn't work like that. What I am saying here is that some of the statements made by IPOP from the beginning are the words they're using against them. I'm not going to be totally I'm not going to debunk or totally debunk what they have said, because from all indications they have come out several times to say no, we are not this, we are not that. But anytime you hear the security against the government, they always say IPOP, IPOP, IPOP. And we begin to ask, is it only IPOP that we have? Don't we have a bandit leader, Boko Haram leader, and what have you? Now most of the statements made by Gumi, they will look the other way, but nobody dares make such a statement in this from the south. Generally they would have picked the person up, people would have talked. Of course people have called for the arrest of a Gumi, but the federal government didn't do anything. And the question we'll be asking, we have heard about 2 or 3 names of the leaders of the bandits and Boko Haram. Why is it that they have been operating for God knows when, and yet the federal government never deemed it fit to even arrest one of them and let us see what will happen? The only thing you hear, oh, they have killed many bandits, oh, thousands of them have been this and you cannot capture one and say let's put the person behind bar. You won't hear that. So that is why it is very, very difficult. What I mean, very, very, very difficult to believe the Nigerian government. And I think what is happening is what the IPOP themselves need to use to work and make sure that they guide their utterances, which I believe they have been doing, because that is what they are using against them. I just want to know if Obasanjo endorsements of Obi will give Obi victory in Borno State or Kano State or even Gombe. That is my own concern for now. Well, this is one of the Buhari Cabals. Yes, which election and for where? We are talking of referendum and warfare. Okay. What else? This man is one of the Nigeria's problem. What about the kidnappers, bandits, and Boko Haram? Boys, they are Dambazu. Do you blame those ones too? The enemies of the country shall be exposed. Why are you holding him there and you are at the same time blaming him for no reason? Say it's a plan to rig the election because of Peter Obi not to win this election. But it's too early for any group or person to start accusing Dambazal for planning to rig 2023 general elections. And those accusing Dambazal, they are celebrating all over Southeast because Obasanjo fake endorsement to Obi. It's fake endorsement, and some people cannot sleep. If they pay you as OBG endorse Peter Obi, right? Yes, it does. It does. Well, this one say whether this thing is going to create election or make Obi win in this thing. So articles, or those who are endorsing, what is it called, Tinubu now, will it make him win election in South and Southeast and Middle Belt? You should ask yourself the same question. So this is a fight to finish. A fight to finish. Let's see how all of this will pan out.